Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Patty, and in this video, which is a knitting tutorial, I'm going to talk about an increase stitch called a Make One Right. And I just did a video on making yarn overs, and I'll link over to that. And yarn over, make one right, and also make one left, which will be a different video. They are all increasing stitches, and I showed you in the yarn over how you wind up basically knitting a hole into your knitted fabric. Well, with a make one right, it is a more invisible increase, and to me, the most common place that you're going to see that stitch is in a thumb gusset. And here it is. And this is your make one left. And so to put a thumb into a fingerless mitt or a mitten or a glove, whichever, you have to add stitches over here for the thumb. So you basically are knitting round and round until you get to the point where it's time to add your thumb gusset, and then you start increasing, and you increase until your thumb is wide enough, and then you close it off, and then you finish it in the round. But what we're going to look at is how to do this. And just to show you, I can do this in all weights of yarn. Here's like my super bulky weight mitts, which these are super fun. Both of these are my own designs. And I just need to get the patterns together. I actually have the notes back from the tech editor, so they're coming. But see how there's a make one right here? Isn't that cool? So yeah, I mean, the weight of the yarn doesn't matter. Sometimes you just need that increase, and you'll see that a lot for thumb gussets. You'll see it also for like bust darts in sweaters. Anytime there's shaping, maybe if there's like a skirt or something, they might do some sort of increase. I've never knitted a skirt. I don't know exactly, but I know bust darts, and I do know for gloves and mitts. So let's look at it. Here's the sample. I will tell you, it's more than a little bit fiddly. It takes some practice, so I would get yourself a swatch and practice it a little bit, and it will get neater as you work on it. Okay, so I'm just going to knit those first 3 stitches. Now here's what we're going to do. This is essentially, since we're increasing, what increasing means is we are adding a stitch to this row or this round of knitting. We have 10 stitches on the needle right now. I'm going to do 2 increases in this row, so we'll have 12 when we're done. But how do we get that extra stitch onto the row of knitting? Okay, I want you to see this. I'm going to come up closer so we can do this up close. See how there's this little bar that sits in between your stitches. So that's the yarn that connects the stitches essentially. So let's see here. All right, so see how we have this column. That's a column of knit stitches. Here's a column of knit stitches, and you can tell because there's the live stitch on the needles. And then when you stretch the stitches apart, you have that bar. So we're going to pick up that bar. And we're going to pick up the bar with the left needle, and I'm going to come behind it, and I'm just going to scoop it up onto my left needle. Okay, see how that is? Now, this is the fiddly part. We take our right needle, and then you're going to have to come into the front of this stitch, this that we're making, this bar that we lifted up, and you're going to come in and you're going to knit from here through. But I'm going to tell you something. It's really hard. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to kind of nudge that yarn forward, that little bar, with your left finger, and then see how I got in there just like a net, bringing it around, and pull through just like a knit stitch. And there's our increase. All right, let's just do 3 regular knit stitches and we'll do another one. And then we'll see how it looks. Okay, this is where our pattern says that we want to do a make one right increase, and it's make one right because it's right leaning. It's going this way. Okay? All right, so here we are. We're ready to do our make one right. We're going to take this left needle and I'm going to come behind that little bar. I'm scooping it up. Okay? That's going to be the new stitch. And then I'm going to just see how I'm using that left index finger to nudge that yarn. I'm just going to nudge it forward a little bit just to make it easier to get that right needle in. Pull around. And there's your increase. Okay, and let's knit to the end of the row and see what we have. Now, let me take a look. Okay. There they are. So there's a little bitty spot that we can see where we did it. It's not utter perfection, but it's not as much of a hole as you're going to get with a yarn over. All right, let's purl back. On the wrong side, you're just going to purl. Now, if you're doing like something in the round that has increases, you probably are just going to knit that round. But since this is a flat sample, I'm purling back. And I mean, you really, on the wrong side, you really can't even tell where you had that increase. Just purling all the way across. I mean, honestly, it's pretty much impossible to tell. All right, here we go. All right, let's see how it looks. It's pretty good, huh? Pretty good. So now we're going to have 12 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Because we increased by 2. All right, let's go ahead and do another round. Okay, we'll do another set of make one right increases. And I'm going to knit 3. Just like I did before. Okay, and you can really see that increase there. Okay, so we're going to pick up our bar and then let's just nudge that forwards ever so slightly. Okay. If you nudge it around with your left index finger, it makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, it is just pert near impossible, as they say. Pert near impossible to get that needle into that stitch. Okay, I don't really talk like that. I watched Beverly Hillbillies this morning. Okay, here we go. All right, let's do an increase here. Okay, so you can see there's the other increase. See it? It's a little bit bigger hole there. But let's go and come up. And then we're going to come in. It's that twisting that upper, or twisting that, what do I want to say? Twisting the way that you're going in to approach that knit that closes that hole up. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to purl back, and then I'll do just a quick bind off, and then we'll look at the sample a little more closely. I'll be right back. So I just did like a little bind off. I'm not going to secure it because I'm going to reuse this yarn for another tutorial. I'm going to do the make one left after this, but today we're just looking at make one right. So, but I want you to just see how that shaped it. So see how it's definitely getting larger because I've added stitches. I started with 10 and now I have 14 on the row of knitting, because I added 2 stitches on 2 different rows. So I added 2 here and 2 here. And I'll pull it up where you can see. So you can see where that's starting to go that way, and that's of course doing the same thing. But that's your make one right. Okay, so there's your increasing and there's your increasing again. So that is your make one right. I think the make one right is harder than the make one left, as you'll see in the next video. But you know, you do have to do them both because you do want at times to have those right leaning stitches. Like, you know, your thumb gusset is not going to fit if you do left leaning stitches on this side. That's going to look weird, right? So you have the right leaning stitches here and the left leaning stitches here. And yeah, that's how you put the thumb in, and that is like, to me, that's the most common place that I would use a stitch like that. So that is make one right, and it's designated as MR1. Okay, that's the video for today, and I hope that it helps you and explains some things. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any of these amazing lessons. Okay, and I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.